Hey traders, Leaf West. It's Friday just before lunchtime, Eastern time zone, and I'm not doing too much more probably today. I've done most of my trading yesterday and this morning, but I am just sort of reviewing the market, so I thought I'd just go over again what I am seeing. Um, it's pretty frustrating, I think, for most traders, and that's understandable. We're sort of stuck inside of bigger waves, and the market really hasn't shown us exactly what it wants to do yet. Here is the Russell 2000 ETF, the IWM. And I actually played this through the TNAs in both calls and the ETF yesterday. Because if you go back a couple days ago, I made a video and I showed you how much stronger the daily chart on the IWM looked relative to the Qs or to the spiders. So that made sense for me that if we were going to pop from support yesterday, that the TNA and the IWM would be the probably place to be. And I elected to use the TNA just to get some more boost to the returns. Anyways, so if you didn't see that video, try and find it. So I think I did it on YouTube, but in essence, what I showed was that since we went above and closed above on 2 days above the 78.6 of this last wave down, that this was showing strength, and that put more value on this low, and that put more value on possibility of support holding on the pullback. And so if you're actually were to gear down and look at the 60-minute chart and were to look at minor support from yesterday, let's see where it held. Let's get rid of the bigger one here. Yeah, let's get rid of this one here. Come on. Here we go. Okay. So it held right up to 61.8. So that was a nice sort of pullback, and we had sort of two waves down, and away we went. And we've broken above the 60-minute ATR resistance line. So that I think that's the first wave push through, and that if you were to look now, where does price go once you bounce off support? Well, because we're still stuck inside the bigger pattern, the bigger daily pattern, you have to assume that the 60-minute chart is probably still what's in charge of the price action, and therefore we're going to go to 60-minute resistance of the last wave, last minor wave here, and we're basically entering resistance right now. So we're right at 50%. If we get to 61.8, we're going to get right in this sort of prior sort of support congestion area. So that's probably all we're going to have for this move up. And so again, we'd like to see two waves. So we might get a little more today. Maybe we get a bit of a correction on Monday, Tuesday, and then possibly break or break down. So eventually, this is going to get tighter and tighter and tighter until we break the congestion and break the daily pattern, and the daily chart takes over and drives it to wherever it's going to go. And my feeling, because of this showing strength, that we're probably going to go to the upside, but that's no guarantee, right? Patterns break all the time. So here's the spiders, and again, it didn't show as much strength as the IWM. It didn't get above the 78.6, but we clearly are. Get rid of some of this stuff here. We clearly are in congestion, right? So the bigger possible trade is that we're made a move down. This is sort of from my sort of weekly thesis that possibly we could go lower into the bigger support. Into bigger support. But we could also go down and then break higher. Right from here, we could go a bit higher even and just avoid the whole correction. So no one knows what's going to happen. There's no use guessing. All we can really do is just try and trade it wave to wave and buy in support and sell in resistance. And again, if we look at, no, not not that one. That one. Yeah. So here is the current wave down, and we were in resistance. We're still stuck in resistance. And if we look at the smaller waves, right, we came down a bit lower even. See how it was even weaker than the small caps, and that the small caps bounced right off the 61.8. The spiders came down below that to just above the 78.6, and then we've moved higher. But again, we broke the ATR, the 60-minute ATR. So I think this is the first push higher. There's going to be more to the move. Let's take a look at momentum and see what it's telling us. Yeah, again, see how we had this nice divergence here, a 1, 2, 3 push pattern into this low. That's another reason, people that were shorting yesterday at the in the morning on the morning lows. It's a really, what you're counting on is the daily chart to take over and to drive us out of this congestion. But I'd rather short, I think, in resistance than short at support. I think that's a better odds trade to happen. CMG just fired. Let's take a look at CMG. What's going on CMG? Has it got back to where I want it to go back to? See CMG. Hang on one sec here. This is CMG's 60-minute chart. I look at the move down from a few days ago, and it looked really weak. And so I'm looking at the possibility of shorting this thing. So I want to wait till, it's going to pop here with the market and whatever. And again, I'd rather short it from resistance than support. See, here was support, 786. People shorting there were got slammed again. So now, as it gets up into I got price symmetry here on this bounce at around 396.50 to 397.10, and there's the 61.8 resistance as well at about 399. So anywhere from 395 to 400, I'm going to look seriously at the smaller charts to see if I can get a short on it. And I may change my mind on that when we get up there, depending on how it looks. But to me, this just begs for a short on this bounce. And so it's made a first leg pull back, and now we're making the second leg into resistance. And that's the kind of setup that I think is a better winning shot than let's take a look at the daily. But I probably got too many lines in this to see it really well. Yeah, so see momentum here. This push down is huge. It's in this my trading rules say that when you get a new momentum high or low, price is going to at least revisit that level after it bounces or pulls back if it's on the flip side, if it's on a move higher. Yeah, so everything tells me that this is a short that's worth watching. So I got some audio alerts at different levels just to tell me what's going on in CMG. Let's go back to, where was I? The spiders, right? Yeah, so let's take even look at the momentum here. Again, it's not telling us much. Zone oscillator right now is on the negative side of 0, so it's telling me that there's not a lot of upside momentum right now on the daily. So that clearly is it's not ready to break out of this congestion right now. But we are like that. Actually, we're getting down to my trend strength is at 1.12 right now on the daily, and at 0 is when the yellow candles start getting painted. So we are getting a real tight congestion here. So we are going to resolve this. Maybe it's going to take next week, another week of this, but my feeling is that this is going to be resolved. So I think what people should be doing, actually, instead of trying to day trade this chop that's happening right now, is really get comfortable with what they think is going to happen in the market and what if scenarios, and where we could possibly go, and where they would like to buy, where they like to sell, what their plan is for when it comes down to 0 and we get contraction. Because look what happened here. We get yellow candles and boom, it drops it dropped $10 on the spiders. Where else do we get yellow candles? Let's go back just to show you. They don't happen that often on the daily. Here's some yellow candles, right? Is those yellow? Yeah. Here we had yellow candles going into a high, and then bang. Usually you get, yeah, see, here's a squeeze. Now it's just about setting up again now. And let's go to Apple. You know, here was yellow candles in Apple, and then bang, we had a nice 5-6 day run. We don't get it very often in Apple either. Anyways, so it's telling me that we're getting close to running out of time on this congestion and chop, and that we're going to resolve this and get out of this daily pattern. So, you know, I would rather see, if we're going to resolve to the upside, I'd rather see price fail at getting higher and then pull back and even make a small break of that prior June 4th low, and then do a squeeze, right? And then break the high, right? It's just you're gonna have more people caught short, more people getting out of the market if we do one more big push down, and then we can get a nice sort of move late summer into the fall. You know, if we grind higher here, it's just harder and harder to really trade that kind of market. I'd rather buy a deep push back into support, where everybody's selling it, and I can sort of, if the conditions are right, I can sort of position myself for a reversal. Um, Anyways, probably cut this off here now, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Okay, bye.